Welcome back to the third part of the first tutorial on building a Sybase unwired server application. If you have not watched the first two parts, please go back and watch them first, as this third part builds on top of what we have done in the first two. Okay, you have your application up and running, and you can initiate the application from your device and look up customers in the database that we connected to the SUP server. While this is a good start, wouldn't it be nice if we could trigger this application with a notification coming from the server that would directly point you to a specific customer inside the database, for which the user of the device should do something? This is exactly what we are going to do with this third part now. To do this, we're going to need an additional starting point inside our application. Navigate to the flow design, and from the palette choose Server Initiated by clicking it. Then somewhere in the canvas of your workflow, click again to place the starting point. This will bring up the notification processing wizard with which we will design the notification itself. As a first step, we have to specify the mobile business object that this notification is for. Search for your customer MBO, then select the Find by Customer Name query as the query that should be triggered by this notification. The system will automatically show you all of the available parameters that have to be filled for this query. In our case, this is only the customer name. Click the Next button. The next step is making a sample notification from which we eventually create a matching rule that will be kicked off once notifications come into the SUP server that match it. We will only use the subject line of the notification to do this. Write New Company Alert, Square Sports, where Square Sports is in parentheses, into the subject line and hit Next. On the next screen, mark the words New Company Alert, then right-click inside the subject line input field and select as Matching Rule from the dialog. This will create a matching rule that will be triggered if notifications start with these words. In the next step, we need to specify which part of the notification matches the parameter value for the company name. Click on the PC name key, and in the extraction rule properties, select subject as the field. As a starting character, select the opening parenthesis, and as an end tag, the closing parenthesis. Note that if you use the buttons behind the input fields, that the characters will automatically be escaped. You can also just type them into the fields, but you have to escape special characters like the parentheses. Hit the Finish button and you have created an additional starting point for your application. But before we deploy it again, we have to connect this starting point with one of the screens in your flow. Click the Go To entry in the palette, then click your server initiated starting point and drag the arrow to the customer details screen. As the last thing for this to work, we have to change the default save screen type of the back menu entry inside the customer details screen to cancel screen. Now reorder once more and deploy the application with a right click inside the canvas by selecting Generate Mobile Workflow Package in the dialog like you did last time. Switch over to the Android simulator and in the menu select Workflows. If the application has not yet redeployed, give it a couple of seconds. Once it is back, we can be sure that triggering it from the server will now work. To do this, we can send a test message from the development environment. Switch back to the IDE and right-click on the flow design canvas. This time select Send Notification. Select yourself as the sender and receiver, and in the subject line use New Company Alert with the company name Square Sports in parentheses. Square Sports is one of the entries in the database, but you essentially can use any company that has an entry in the sample DB. Give some text in the body to let the user of the device know what he needs to do and send a notification. If you now switch back to the simulator again and then navigate to the initial screen of the hybrid container runtime, you will see that the runtime has received the notification. Click on the notification to navigate to the entry for Square Sports directly. This concludes the third part of the first tutorial. I hope to see you in the fourth and last one for this tutorial, where we will modify the look of our hybrid container application.